Hello, Eight of Cups family. Welcome to Eight of Cups Tarot, and welcome to Virgo season, guys. We've got a lot going on in the skies this month. September is another intense month, although not quite as jarring and intense as August was. We are still dealing with the calamity of the things that occurred in August. You know, the Uranus station is still very prominent in our sky, as well as the second full moon in Aquarius. And when we move into Virgo season, and especially as we have Venus moving through the sign of Libra the first half of the month, our attention is really going to be turned towards our ability to have compassion. Now, looking at the current state of things in this world, and my condolences and my whole heart goes out to the troops that were sacrificed in Afghanistan, and praying that the rest of these people can get home safely. We kind of have to look at ourselves as a nation and as humanity and really lean on our ability to have compassion. Now, the tricky part of Virgo energy is to have compassion without judgment. And a lot of this month is going to be us being compelled to say, yeah, but they should have done this. Yeah, but they should have done that. And there has to reach a culmination point for us in which we can accept where we are right now and how to proceed. This is in terms of mundane astrology. This is in terms of our current conditions as a collective, and it also plays out in our personal lives as well. Virgo energy can make you feel the need to perfect everything in your life. And it's not a really healthy place to be. I'm allowed to say this because I'm a Virgo with the Virgo stellium, so I'm very familiar with where these perfectionism obsessions can lie in our lives. And quite honestly, when we spend a lot of time focusing on everything that is wrong, it's really hard to maintain that high vibrational energy that helps us to accomplish, that helps us to manifest, that helps us to bring peace into our personal lives, and therefore create peace throughout the collective. So it's a little bit of a duality. The good thing about Virgo energy is that it's always fair. And especially as we approach this new moon in Virgo and the full moon in Pisces, there's a lot of energy into our gifts as humans, into the compassion that we can have for other people, and our ability to put ourselves in other people's shoes and truly understand where they are coming from. And I think this energy will allow us to make some pretty big breakthroughs as far as dropping some of the animosity that we have and coming together for the greater good. Now, my hope in all of this, and what I truly hope we could all reach within the next couple weeks, at least the first half of this Virgo season, is the quality of time that we spend in our lives doing the things that we love with the people that we love. There's an emphasis on relationships here. There's an emphasis on the other people in our lives and the roles that they play. Now, I always look at Virgo season as so appropriate when we look at the way that we're developed, you know, the way that at least us in the Western Hemisphere, Northern Hemisphere, you know, it's back to school time. So we're getting back into our routines, and Virgo really loves a routine. We're also probably, in terms of health, we're looking at the COVID variants, and, you know, there's probably a lot more fear amping up throughout our environments again. And so the Virgo energy can talk to you about getting right as far as your nutrition and taking care of your body, exercising, taking the proper vitamins, eating the right foods, eating cleaner foods, not relying so much on fast food. The beauty of the mutability of Virgo is that we're transitioning from one season into the next. We are transitioning from the fun and wild summer into a more sober and responsible time of year. But it's also a time in which we start to prepare for some of the more traditional sides of life, right? Now the kids go back to school, we start talking about schedules and plans and fall plans and what are we going to do for the holidays. And Virgo is all about the planning. So it's a great opportunity for us to get organized in our lives. It's a great opportunity to clean out some of the old stuff in our houses, in our minds, in our bodies, and to get a little bit clearer and stronger in what we want to do next. It's a great time to set goals. And because Venus is in Libra, it's a great time to implement friendships. It's a great time to say to your friend, hey, let's start a walking routine. Let's go for a walk 3 times a week with a best friend, because not only do we need that mutual companionship, but it also kind of helps to hold us accountable. So there's strength in that this month as well. Now we've got Mars moving through Virgo. This is a lot about the military stuff that's going on. You're going to see this playing out for a few more weeks. Of course, you're going to see this playing out for the rest of the year. But things will remain kind of in a heightened state for a few more weeks as Mars makes its way through Virgo. And then finally moves into Libra, which has its own set of interesting factors. But again, leaning towards companionship, leaning towards being fair to all and being honest. So we're looking at a couple more decent months before we roll into November and December, which again really pump up the anxiety, they really pump up the intensity. So I urge all of you, if you are able to rest in September, please do so. Please honor your body, honor your minds, honor yourself. It's a great time to learn to love yourself for where you are and what you have in your life, and be grateful, because when we're on the Virgo Pisces axis, this is all about the service that we do for others, the sacrifices that we make in the name of love, and what we are able to give. And so each of our attention should be put towards that in some way, whether we are packing lunches for our children or, just really enjoying our partners and our friends and the loves in our life, and cherishing those things and being grateful for them, being grateful for our homes, organizing them, taking care of them, closing up that yard work, getting ready for the fall. It's an amazing time of year, and I do wish you guys all the very best in the month of September, and we will get started with your monthly videos. Enjoy, guys. Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot, and welcome to your cards for September. Couple things going on over here. It's kind of making me chuckle a little bit. As I started to do these cards, we started getting thunder. I could sense, the thunderstorm is rolling in. And I feel like you are the thunderstorm this month, Capricorn. You're kind of coming out as a powerhouse here now, and I think that opportunity is going to grow for you as the month goes further, but I also think it's going to change a lot in the process. So you're coming out here as a Knight of Pentacles, and I love that energy. It is Capricorn energy. It's Virgo energy. It's slow, steady progress, cautious movement, but also the ability to apply goals, high standards to things, and to go after what you desire. And it's not about like the big grandiose things with the Knight of Pentacles, right? It's about the small progress, one thing at a time. This energy alone tells me that it's going to be a successful month for you in terms of getting things off the ground, getting things cleaned up. Now, I do want to tell you that we are all moving into a Mercury retrograde in Libra, which is your 10th house. And here we've got the World card, we've got 10th house, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Like, these are really big energies. Now we have the fates over here. This is kind of all the equivalent of your fate and destiny in front of you. And I'm not upset that you're coming out as a 9 of Pentacles, because when something this big and something this important is right in front of you, there's not a time to move impulsively, right? And I think this is showing your balance. Now, first, let's look at the moon here. We've got a moon in this picture. We've got the moon in this picture, a moon here, and we've got the moon kind of here in this card as well. So prominent moon energy, moon being ruled by Cancer, your 7th house. I definitely feel a form of partnership here. If not partnership like a love relationship, then probably a fated friendship or fated opportunity or business partner in some way. But I'm definitely picking up the sense of this otherness in your life. And to me, the moon indicates that we're not really sure what this thing is all about, right? Like, I don't know if we know what we want to do with this, because again, it feels big, right? And the center of the reading here, we have this 2 of Swords. I'm sorry, I'm gonna jump around a little bit as I'm kind of feeling these cards out. Of course, everyone's probably looking at the 7 of Swords, 3 of Cups energy, but I don't think that that is necessarily a terrible thing. In fact, I think this is a fantastic turn of events, because it says to me that you're seeing something in a different perspective. And you start off as a Knight of Pentacles, but I also see this as the other side of you, this Knight of Cups, which is kind of this heart opening. And because he's supported by the Wheel of Fortune, it shows me that there is progress here in whatever is occurring. Big emphasis on progress for you this month. Sometimes the progress starts by letting things go, by dropping some swords, right? So to me, this moon energy is the universe handing you something, be it a relationship, another person, a situation, handing you something that you don't quite know what to make of yet. 2 of Swords. And so we could get stuck, of course, like if this is a new thing, a new relationship or a new opportunity in some way. 7 of Swords, 3 of Cups. We could be comfortable in the whole idea of keeping this casual, you know? For some of you, this could be toying with the idea of falling in love with a friend. This could be being in a relationship, but also, you know, keeping it casual. Kind of like a friends with benefits kind of non-committal vibe here. And because we have this coming up next to the 8 of Cups, it indicates that this is something you may be considering walking away from in some ways, or emotionally detaching yourself from, because the 8 of Cups is a place we come from when we know we want and deserve more. Maybe you're with somebody who says, I just want to keep it casual, I'm not looking for a commitment at this time. You may feel compelled early on in the month to kind of walk away or distance yourself from the situation, knowing that there's simply more out there that you want. Deeper connections, bigger commitments. And the Virgo energy, like, let's not ignore, especially Virgo being in your 9th house, like a place of really high standards. And that's kind of what makes Capricorn who and what you are, is your high standards and your moral high ground, right? Like, I don't know too many Capricorns. Like, I get, you know, some people are super career driven and it's not really all about love, but I mean, come on. You've got Cancer in your 7th house. So there is a fondness for that tradition and that security that you can find in another person. And I think there's an acceptance of where you are and what you want next that comes along this month. Now, because we have the 7 of Cups right above this Knight of Cups, there might be a heart opening here. 10th house, the world. We've got 2 world cards and the 10 of Cups. And what the universe is trying to tell you here is that you are safe. Because here we have this Knight of Pentacles energy, very earth, And then we have the moon, which is very emotional, watery energies here. And water and earth together create fertility, right? We have this Sumba Island card. Fertility of all kinds is my birthright. I am connected to all the cycles of the land and sky. Healthy fierceness is something to be valued. Be patient, the time will come. And this tells me that we're in a phase of our life where, like, we planted the seed. Right now we're in this phase of maintaining the soil. Nothing's really broken through, nothing's come to the surface yet, but yet we know that we have to apply the proper amount of water to that soil to keep it moist and to keep the soil fertile so that the plant can break through the surface. And that's what happens when we start to integrate this Knight of Cups energy into our Knight of Pentacles. Now, we're building towards a king here. These two energies. The Knight of Pentacles sees potential and moves forward. The Knight of Cups feels his way. He feels the pulling of this thing. If this is a relationship, 10th house, Wheel of Fortune, the Fates card, it's something that's meant to make you move towards greater growth. And we have a Knight of Cups, which acts from the heart, and then we have the Emperor, which just simply takes action. The Emperor is not afraid to move. He's full of courage. And yet here we are in this Two of Swords, right here, center of your reading, and it is so completely unnecessary. This is the illusion that you're not understanding this month, Capricorn. I can't brace this enough for you. You may feel like you are needing to make a decision. Do I stay or do I walk away? Do I accept what is here now, these current circumstances, or do I walk away in search of something more? And the answer with the Two of Swords is neither. Neither options are really where you're going to go anyways. See, because the Eight of Cups and the Emperor is kind of in opposition of each other. Look at the Eight of Cups is a moment of surrender, and the Emperor doesn't surrender. He holds on to what he has. He holds on to his resources. He knows when to use them. He follows his instinct and his intuition, Knight of Cups. He knows when to be patient, when it is necessary to make a move, and he certainly doesn't settle. And I think the Emperor is a really good balance between what you need and what you are currently creating. We've got the Three of Cups, Two of Swords, and the Six of Cups right here. For some of you, it's such a simple story. Is this a casual friendship or is this a soulmate? Is this just a job? Something I do that I enjoy? I work with friends, it feels good. Or is this something that I'm meant to do? It's something that I'm meant to pursue in my life? And the answer is, it's absolutely part of your fate. And there's a reason why. See, we've got the Seven of Swords and this 10 of Swords in reverse. And this is like when we get the mind involved, right? And then we have this card of comparison, card number 5. And this is what happens when we start overthinking scenarios, right? Like, oh, well, this person doesn't seem to be making a move to like further this commitment or to make this solid, or, you know, whatever it is, the next step in your business arrangement or the next step in your commitment towards each other. You get the feeling of like this person isn't really sealing the deal at this time. And so you start to overthink things. Well, that's probably because maybe they're entertaining other people, they're seeing other people, or they're, you know, and you start to compare yourself. Am I good enough? This person's better, especially in terms of a career, right? Like if you're looking to change your career in some way, and then you start looking at other people that do that, and you're like, yeah, but they know so much more than me, and they're better at this, and they're better than that. Look, it doesn't have to be perfect right now. You don't have to be perfect right now. This relationship doesn't have to be perfect right now. There's no written guarantees. Remember, we're operating in the moon. There's absolutely no indication of what this thing truly is. You have to rely on your intuition, which means you have to be honest with yourself about what that intuition is. And it also means that you have to pay attention. You have to recognize when you're stuck in your head, when you're having negative thoughts. Well, this simply isn't working out because this person doesn't think I'm good enough. Well, that's bullshit, probably. That's just some made-up story. We have all of this energy in your 9th house giving you the opportunity to overcome some old mental stories you've told yourself, some old mental cycles, right? We have 2 cards of the World, which means these cycles are coming to an end. Now, you may be trying to hold on to them for dear life, but I don't think that you have a whole lot of control over where this is going because, again, it is so clearly fated. The universe is trying to get you to feel with your heart. Knight of Cups, Wheel of Fortune. Allow yourself to be pulled towards something. I don't know why I'm in love with this. I don't know why I want to do this. I don't have a lot of concrete evidence that this thing is going to work out. And yet I find myself yearning for it. I find myself interested in it. I find myself wanting to do this more and more. This is how I want to spend my time. And for some of you, you know what this is because it's that thing that feels like home when you're there. Whether it's a person, place, or thing, it feels familiar, it feels like safe, and it feels like you're home. There's an element of patience because we have this Emperor card appearing. So, like, there's not a lot of room to get discouraged here. And you may be overcoming the this discouragement this month so that next month, like middle to end of the month, all of this energy moves into Libra, where Venus is right now, and you start to see the real potential and you start to lay down the real foundation. So we're going to have to manage our expectations this month. We're going to have to understand that even if this thing looks like it's not going anywhere right now, the very fact that your heart and your soul is pulled towards it means that it is meant for you. And I need you to understand that. There's no coincidences in this lifetime. Even if it seems silly, even if it seems whimsical and built on a fantasy, as the 6 of Cups often does. I've been saying it to you, Capricorns, for a long time now, that it's time for you to understand that life doesn't have to be hard, that you don't have to carry all these burdens, that it's not always like just this practicality and responsibility. Because for a lot of you, life is softening up. And this is a critical month for you to accept that the good things that you see in front of you, regardless of the fear that's attached to them, it's so important for you to move forward towards these things. Do not question yourself and your worthiness. Do not question your qualifications. Do not question how this other person is going to feel about you. Don't question the things that you're doing or saying, because if it is truly meant for you, you're not going to screw it up. And first, you have to overcome the fear. Because there's a lot of fear that builds up when that thing that we really, really always wanted our whole life is right before us. For some of you, this is like an old manifestation coming in. Now, again, Emphasis on that whole Mercury retrograde in your 10th house, which will be all of October, which are opportunities that you may have thought you missed out on coming back to you. Career, love, 10th house is kind of the be all end all of who you want to become, the next phase in life. And you're going to get to look back on these scenarios and make some pretty heavy decisions. So are you going to choose real love? Or are you going to choose a guarantee that you'll never be hurt? This Two of Swords, it's so important for you to understand that that is an illusion. We come to this place because we feel like we have to protect ourselves. We feel like we have to keep the blindfold on, that we're too afraid to see what's surrounding us. But look at what's surrounding you. Look what she would see if she took off that blindfold. This is the softer part of life. You are so taken care of. You are so in a place of safety and security. This is somebody who is so deeply loved and appreciated and doesn't even know it. This month is going to make you remove this blindfold and see things for what they truly are, and realize that this is the very moment that the universe is handing you to change your life forever. Perfect timing. Capricorn, this is a really, really beautiful reading, and I hope that you understood everything that I said, because again, September is such a powerful, pivotal month for all of us. So much that we have to leave behind so that we can embrace a much better part of our worlds. All right, Capricorn. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe if you liked the content. Don't be afraid to comment. I always comment back. The more that we interact, the more I pick up on your energy, and therefore it comes up in next month's readings and stuff like that. So that's I love when you guys comment. I hope that you guys have a wonderful month, and I will be talking to you very soon. Take care.